EABIC and its founder, leader, President God and King. Prince Emmanuel, or Brother Eddie as he is also called, was said to have appeared in the parish of St. Elizabeth, Jamaica, in 1915. Many speculations have been made as to how he actually appeared, but as he taught, reincarnation brings back everyone through a mother's womb and father's lineage. The prince said that he was found as a child in an area called Treasures Beach in St. Elizabeth, Jamaica by a family who thereby took him in. Little is known of his childhood, yet there is a recurring account I've heard from a few elders of how he earned the title, Prince. It is said that the family who took in the Honorable Prince Emmanuel made a living by selling milk from cows. The young Prince Edwards became popular in the community, because of his tendency to give the customers more milk than they paid for. It is said the people in the community began calling him Prince because of his generosity. As Prince Edwards grew into adulthood, he eventually migrated into the capital city. A migration pattern which was trending during the early 20th century. No exact age is known as to when Prince Edwards migrated into Kingston, during the Groundation period, where Emmanuel led protests for repatriation. Early Bobo followers were associated with the broader, often persecuted, relocations. The camp was reportedly moved by Jamaican authorities 9 times over the following years due to their strict separatist, anti-colonial stance. Sugarman Mountain, Bull Bay, in 1972. The community established a permanent base on the hills of Bull Bay in St. Andrew. Where is the camp now? The main headquarters of the Bobo Shanti movement is currently located at Bobo Hill, also known as 9 Miles, in Bull Bay, St. Andrew. Location details. The camp is located on a hilltop in Bull Bay, accessed by turning left onto Visa Road after a bridge, roughly 1.5 kilometers past Shanique's hair salon in the center of Bull Bay. The site. It is known as the Black Sovereign Nation, Ethiopia Embassy. The community remains a tight-knit, largely self-sufficient and separatist group where members live according to strict Old Testament, priestly rules, and they produce crafts to support themselves. The Coral Gardens Massacre, 1963. In April 1963, following a violent confrontation in Montego Bay, Jamaica, then Prime Minister Alexander Bustamante ordered police to bring in all Rastas, dead or alive. Targeting the movement. This action was part of a wider state crackdown against the Rastafari movement in Jamaica, of which the Bobo Shanti were a prominent and highly visible, strict sect founded just years earlier in 1958 by Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards. Demolition in Jamaica. While the 1963 crackdown was a massacre, involving severe violence, torture, and detention, search results also mention that the Bobo Shanti community at Akiwak in Jamaica was specifically bulldozed by authorities in 1968. Joe Williams was a police commissioner, or high-ranking police official, during the 1970s and 1980s, serving under the administration of Prime Minister Edward Seaga. What he did to the Bobo Shanti, and Rastafari in general. Repression and harassment. During the 1970s and early 1980s, police under his authority were responsible for targeting Rastafarian communities, including the Bobo Shanti, Bobo Ashanti, branch. This involved raids, cutting off the long dreadlocks, locks, of adherents, and general harassment. Targeting slum areas. As a top police official, Williams was involved in efforts to control violence in West Kingston by conducting raids, which often impacted marginalized communities where many Rasta brethren lived. The Ethiopia-Africa Black International Congress, EABIC, Woman Freedom Liberation League, often referred to as the Empress League, was founded on March 23, 1980, by King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. EBIC. Key details regarding the League. Founder. King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, also known as Bongo Eddie, or Black Christ in the Flesh, established the group. Purpose. It was created to empower black women and provide a platform for them to declare their rights, building forward the goddess in themselves. Context. The League operates under the broader Bobo Shanti movement, founded in 1958, to support the aims of freedom, redemption, and international repatriation. Woman of Right is Goddess in Flesh. MST. RT. King Emmanuel Freedom, Redemption and International Repatriation with Reparations. The above caption is the cry of black conscious freedom fighters, scattered in the West through slavery, with the continent of Africa's best interest at heart. Blessed love to one and all. Greetings to all royal Ethiopians, princes and princesses, our beloved matriarchs and patriarchs. This is a reflection of the history and updated works and principles of the Ethiopia-Africa Black International Congress Woman Freedom Liberation League, EABICWFLL. The Ethiopia-Africa Black International Congress was established March 1, 1958 by the Right Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, affectionately known as Bongo Eddie, formerly situated at 54B Spanish Town Road, now headquartered at 10 miles, Bull Bay, St. Andrew, Kingston, Jamaica. The Congress stands governmental, parliament, statical, churchical and sabbatical. Woman of Right is Goddess in Flesh. King Emmanuel Freedom, Redemption and International Repatriation with Reparations. The above caption is the cry of black conscious freedom fighters, scattered in the West through slavery, with the continent of Africa's best interest at heart. Blessed love to one and all. Greetings to all royal Ethiopians, princes and princesses, our beloved matriarchs and patriarchs. This is a reflection of the history and updated works and principles of the Ethiopia-Africa Black International Congress Woman Freedom Liberation League, EABICWFLL. Our aims and objectives are freedom, redemption, international repatriation, with reparation, compensation, the return of enslaved African descendants scattered in the Western world. The EABIC Woman Freedom Liberation League, EBIC-WFLL, was founded through the voice of King Emmanuel on the 23rd of March, 1980, creating a platform to declare the right of black African women, building forward the goddess in themselves through principles and the integrity of our divine mother of creation, Queen Omega the Black Mary. Rastafari, sometimes termed Rastafarianism, is an Abrahamic religion that developed in Jamaica during the 1930s. Scholars of religion and related fields have classified it as both a new religious movement and a social movement. There is no central authority in control of the movement, and much diversity exists among practitioners, who are known as Rastafari, Rastafarians, or Rastas. Rastas refer to their beliefs, which are based on a specific interpretation of the Bible, as Rastology. Central is a monotheistic belief in a single God, referred to as Jah, who partially resides within each individual. Haile Selassie, the Emperor of Ethiopia between 1930 and 1974, is given central importance. Many Rastas regard him as an incarnation of Jah on earth and as the second coming of Christ. Others regard him as a human prophet who fully recognized the inner divinity in every individual. Rastafari is Afrocentric and focuses its attention on the African diaspora, which it believes is oppressed within Western society, or Babylon. Many Rastas call for the resettlement of the African diaspora in either Ethiopia or Africa more widely, referring to this continent as the Promised Land of Zion. Rastas refer to their practices as liberty. Communal meetings are known as groundations, and are typified by music, chanting, discussions, and the smoking of cannabis, the latter being regarded as a sacrament with beneficial properties. Rastas place emphasis on what they regard as living naturally, adhering to Eidal dietary requirements, twisting their hair into dreadlocks, and following patriarchal gender roles. Rastafari originated among impoverished and socially disenfranchised Afro-Jamaican communities in 1930s Jamaica. Its Afrocentric ideology was largely a reaction against Jamaica's then dominant British colonial culture. It was influenced by both Ethiopianism and the Back to Africa movement promoted by black nationalist figures like Marcus Garvey. The movement developed after several Christian clergymen, most notably Leonard Howell, proclaimed that Haile Selassie's crowning as emperor in 1930 fulfilled a biblical prophecy. By the 1950s, Rastafari's counter-cultural stance had brought the movement into conflict with wider Jamaican society, including violent clashes with law enforcement. In the 1960s and 1970s it gained increased respectability within Jamaica and greater visibility abroad through the popularity of Rasta-inspired reggae musicians like Bob Marley. Enthusiasm for Rastafari movement survived and has a presence in many parts of the world. The Rasta movement is decentralized and organized on a largely cellular basis. There are several denominations, or mansions of Rastafari, the most prominent of which are the Nyabingi, Bobo Ashanti, and the 12 tribes of Israel, each offering a different interpretation of Rasta belief.